Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this African print infinity dress. So if you want to learn how to make it, then please keep watching. All the equipment needed for this tutorial is on screen now. All equipment will have affiliate links and will be in the description box below. For this project I picked up 5.4 meters of this beautiful Boafang African print fabric. I've already pre-washed the fabric, not only to prevent shrinking, but also because this type of fabric can be a bit stiff when it's new. Washing it also helps it soften it up. Washing it will also make it soften up, which makes it easy to work with. Iron it out. This is after I've washed it, it's dried, and it is so much softer. So please remember to actually wash and dry your fabric because it actually is so much softer. And you know, African fabric is really quite stiff, but this is just like a lightweight cotton now, and I don't have to double it. I don't have to put the thing into it. Awesome. But I wanted to press it out nice before I start the gathering. Before I start cutting out the skirt pieces, I decided to cut off the writing printed along the bottom of the edge of the fabric. This writing is common on African wax prints, and while it's useful identifying the brand or print, I prefer to move for a cleaner finish. Since I want to add a slit at the front and some gathering at the waist, I needed to do a bit of math to figure out how wide I wanted the skirt to be. First I measured my waist and multiplied the number by 3 to give it a nice fuller gather. Then gave me a total width of around 233 centimeters for the skirt. Then I decided on the slit, and that will turn it into 8 different panels. 2 of those panels for the front slit, and adding 1 centimeter seam allowance to each of those panels. For the other 6 panels, I added 1.5 centimeters of seam allowance to each side. Altogether, they'll give me the full width I need. Next, I laid out the fabric on the floor to start measuring and cutting one large panel. I decided to fold it in half, so I divided the calculation by 2, so 1 for the front and 1 for the back panel. So I'm using this needle. This is the standard, the standard 1914 one. The US ones I'll put in the corner right here. Take this out, so put this in, screw it, done. To create the gathering for the waist, I set the sewing machine to the largest stitch length. It makes it easier to pull the threads later. Starting under the seam allowance at the top, I pulled a long thread tail before sewing and didn't backstitch. Then I pulled 2 parallel lines across the top of each panel. For the gather, you'll just need to pull at the top of the thread tails until it measures 1/2 of your waist measurement. Next, I pinned the front panel to myself to figure out the best placement for the inseam pockets and the front slit. This step is really helpful because it lets me see exactly how everything will sit when you wear the skirt. Right, so I'm going to do the pocket being here, and then this pocket being this. So hopefully, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to put the pocket around like here. Don't know if that's really going to show. I might have to put a pin in it. And however far down that is, that's where I'm going to put pocket open. I want to have it like knee, heel. So I'm gonna get this. I'm hoping the pocket bag, even if it comes like that, I don't want it to show. So maybe even a little bit more here. Look at the thing that's actually gonna help me. Like, yeah, I want my leg to show, so I'm gonna have it here. Don't know if that's really gonna show up. Pin fell on the floor, I'm gonna have you here. So we've got the marking of the, don't need to do that, I'm going to put that here, and I've got the marking of the skirt slit. I carefully cut, then drew a straight line down from the waist to the hem following the pinned area I marked earlier. Then I put the front skirt panels back on to see how high I wanted the slit to be. So I did it on the wrong side, which is a bit annoying, but hey ho, because I feel like this is more vibrant than this side. Don't know if you can see that. Anyway, so now I need to decide how big I want to split. Obviously I don't want to split it all the way up here. So obviously the pocket bag's there. So I kind of want it, because I'm going to make the pocket bag the same as the one on this. So it's good to wear what you've made. Though I'd like my knee to be shown. So maybe if I do it to here. So would that be cool? What might be good? I'm going to pin here. Maybe. So, decided. One of the knee showing. I've got where the pocket's gonna start. Put it in the waist, and then the good thing about this, I can put it up and put it down. Like, see where it's gonna go. So, yeah. Next bit is to overlock the sides and do the split seam. Okay, so we're gonna put this right sides together, and obviously you're gonna sew to where that's where I want the split to be. So we need to put this by 1 centimeter seam allowance. Next, I press 1 centimeter along the slit edge all the way down to the hem. This gives you a neat, clean finish and prevents the fabric from fraying. So I've got the invisible thread and take the black off. I mean, it's just, you put it on like normal. This is not anything. Actually, I don't know why I'm filming this. but this does not go onto the bobbin because it tends to like stretch and stuff. And from what I understand, like the tension and stuff is okay. I want to sample it again, and if not, I will change it. But from what I understand, it's like that's all fine and stuff. That's a clear. You behind there, and good. Do it by hand, but I can't bother. So I bought this for a different project. Tested it, and then this will stay down without me having to do by hand. And I'm doing it with the edge, so it's just below where it's supposed to be. But let's see. Ooh, let's see if this is gonna work. Now I'm working on the back of the skirt. I folded the back panel into 2 and cut it accordingly. Then I gathered the fabric at the waist and make sure it matches the back waist measurement perfectly. It works, and I like the shape and everything and the depth, and it worked on my last dress. So I'm going to cut it out here. So I'm going to cut out 4 pieces because we need 2 for each side to obviously make the bag. I'm just going to fold it. So as you can see, I'm using the pocket bag pattern from my Milkmaid dress tutorial. If you'd like to see how that pocket bag is made from scratch, then you can click on the card at the top and watch that video. It's a simple and versatile pattern and works perfectly well on this dress too. I cut out 4 pieces in total because you need 2 pieces for each side. After overlocking the edges of the pocket pieces, I moved on to the skirt panels. I marked where I wanted the pocket openings to go on each panel. Then I marked 1 centimeter above and below the pocket bag openings. This is where you'll start and stop stitching. With the right sides together, I pinned the pocket to the skirt panel and sewed it in place only between those marked points. You're going to do this on both the front and the back pieces of the skirt, so the pockets line up perfectly when the side seams are sewn. Next, you'll want to press the pocket pieces flat away from the seam. So we're going to sew from here all the way down on this side on both sides. According to the video that I've watched, it's supposed to help stabilize it, make sure it doesn't flip out, and to make sure that if I was carrying anything heavy, which I probably won't, but if I was carrying anything heavy, that it wouldn't, gives it more structure and stability. So we're going to do that on all 4 sides of the pockets. I want to go really slowly. Make sure this is nice and flat, and I'm using like that side, don't know if you can see that bit there, to make sure that I'm close, but also on this. I'm sewing on this side, not on the main side of the bag. I'm actually sewing on the pocket bag. So now you're going to not sew the whole thing, but you're going to put these together, sew down here, then here down as well, which I haven't laid out properly yet. Probably should do that. These need to be the same, which I'm wondering if they are going to be. If they're not, it's fine, I can make them the same, but it's just that they need to, obviously, because this is where your hand's going to go in. So, we've got it here, so I've marked it here. These chalks aren't the best when it comes to bad fabric, so I'm going to here, we're going to sew down to here, obviously the opening of that, and then miss all this section out, and then start again and sew down here to the bottom. Next, you'll want to press the seams open right where the pockets are attached. Make sure to press all the way down to the hem so that the seams lay flat when we sew it all together. Now it's time to close the pocket bags. Sew around the curved edge of pocket following the pocket seam allowance. To finish it off, you can either use a zigzag stitch or overlocker to finish the edge to prevent the edge from fraying. Let's move on to the straps. I made each strap 54 centimeters long. They'll be folded for extra strength and neatness. For the strap length, it's a good rule of thumb to measure it your chest down to the floor and use the minimum length. This ensures the straps will be enough for a comfortable fit and infinity wrap styles. So here I've got the, this is the one I've done before. This is the one I've done where this is the strap. Obviously I'm going to like press it down and stuff, but this is how I'm going to do the strap. Then the bottom of it, I'm just going to put this into the front. I might have to like scrunch it up a little bit, you know, just to make it a little bit better, because I feel like if I just put it in just like that, it would look good. So here I've got the straps that I did 50 by 50, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to sew all the way down here, sew across here, and then the other side I'm going to leave open, just so I can fold it on the side, because this is going to be sewn into the waistband. Next, I overlock the edges of the straps to keep the fabric from fraying. Then I carefully pulled the straps to the right side out to hide the seams inside. Finally, I gave them a good press to make them nice and flat. This helped the straps look crisp and professional. My strap's way too long. I'm only 4'11", so I'm going to reduce it down. So I thought if it just past touches the floor for my height, then that will give me enough. Not so much because it was all getting all tangled, it was getting on my nerves, but just enough that obviously I can do a lot of different kind of infinity wraps, I guess they're called. I don't know. So I'm going to reduce it down. I'm going to reduce that about 37 centimetres. If I could get some chalk, because I should be organised. There we go. If I reduce this down, I think I could make this work. So I'm going to do 37. So if I can mark it here. It's really hard to mark this thing on this fabric. So I do tend to use the yellow on the back. Yeah, let's do this. And if I can like, ooh, there we go, match it. Then I'll be able to actually, 37 I said, right? Then I'd be able to have it still long enough. Master and draw across. I'm also going to reduce the width down to about like 16 or something, because that was also getting on my nerves too. And from what I've seen from other teaching dresses, it's not that big. So I'm going to cut that too. So with this, I'm going to reduce. I want to reduce down to 20. Now I did say about 16 before, but do you want to give myself a little bit? I don't know. I don't want to take off too, because once you've taken off, that's it. You know, you can't put it back. So I'm just going to do this all the way down. So it'd be 19 really. Put it out and then see how I go. I might want to gather it as well, so. So what I'm doing now, I'm gonna mark 1 centimeter up. We're gonna fold that because that's where we're gonna start with the waistband so back. So as I was saying, I'm just gonna fold it up and I'm gonna just iron it along. By the way, guys, let me know if you prefer if I do my recordings like this instead of like a voiceover. If you just prefer I kind of talk to you while doing it. Maybe that makes it more personable. I'm not sure. Or if you kind of just don't care. But I guess this will make it easy for me when I do get to editing. Yeah, I'm just going along. So here, I've got the strap that I've kind of folded in 1 centimeter on each side. I've got the dress. I am going to, so this is the, obviously the inside, this is the outside. I'm going to get this strap, she says, and I'm going to make sure that it's fold right side to the wrong side together, if that makes sense. So this is obviously the wrong side with the thingy. This is pulled out a little bit, which is a little bit annoying, but we can deal. We're going to pin this all into here. This is kind of, when I did the gathering, it's not 100%, like some of the gathering, see it's like pulled here and stuff. I'm just going to have to just scrunch it in as much as I can, and then make sure that this side, I'm going to use the invisible thread, so you don't really see it, because you can do it by hand, but I ain't got time, I don't do it. So I'm just going to do it there like this, I'm going to just put it into here. So I've kind of put it all in here, obviously just one side. So on the outside you should see it well. I'm going to try and not show the stitching here. I don't know if you can really see that well. There's some like stitching here. This is supposed to go over the stitching like that. Maybe I need to make it a little bit more. Move it a little down. Have this come up, you go down. This is why I wanted the stitching to be less than a centimetre, but it can be very, very fiddly. So yeah, this and then all the way down. So I had to, up here, I had to gather things in manually a little bit slightly. So even like here, for example, I had to gather things in. And here, but it's fine. It's just that I wanted it to fit, obviously, inside the waistband that I've measured for myself, so it can fit me properly. And then we'll go in there, and as you can see, because it's already gathered, you don't really notice that, which is fine. Now I'm going to sew it. I'm going to put the invisible thread on, so I don't have to have a black mark. It wouldn't really show up that much, but for me, I just wanted to not have that much sewing on the front. So yeah. So I did decide to do the basting because I felt like when I was doing the front and the back, it wasn't matching up the way I wanted it to. So I did it in contrast thread with this orange thread that I've got going all the way down. Ooh, and I can take the pins out, which I need to fit myself with this one. And then I can just sew on the edge, and then it will look the same on the front and the back, which you're not going to see the back, but I just kind of want it to look good anyway. So I've got the straps on the wrong side where I kind of did the overlocking, folded it over, all that kind of thing. So now we're going to fold it to the right way round, press it, overlock the bottom, put some gathering in, put it on, see how much I want it gathered, where I want the position to be, sew them in. I've got these tweezers to kind of, especially push the edges through. I think there's a little desk bin. So I'm going to use white thread on the top so I know which thread I'm going to be pulling at. Now, just like we did for the skirt, we're going to gather the bottom edge of the straps. Set your sewing machine to the longest stitch length and sew 2 parallel lines near the bottom edge without backstitching. Then gently pull the top threads to create some gathers. So I've pinned the dress. Now I'm going to put on these, how much I'm going to gather them and where the position I'm going to put them. Now, before attaching the straps, I pinned them to myself to see how they would fit. I wanted the straps to meet in the centre front, but since I cut down the width, I realised the gathering there would make them too narrow. So instead, I left them flat and tried a few different wrap combinations to see how the design would work best for my body. So it's not really that wide, so I'm not going to gather it too much. I think maybe for next time I would do a lot wider so I can give it a little bit more gather, but it's fine because I need it. Obviously, I want it in the centre front so they can meet, but at the same time, they need to cover my boob. So once I was happy with the placement and look, I measured one strap to make sure that both of them were the same length. So I'm going to have this on the outside, like the folded bit, but I'm going to have that section on the inside. So I'm going to try and pin it but in there, because obviously when it... I'm using contrasting thread colour here to make it easier for me to see while stitching. It is especially helpful for a beginner if you want to make sure that everything stays straight. I place the straps in between the waistband to make sure they're properly secure in between the fabric layers. I switched to clear thread to finish off the waistband. I sewed right along the edge close to the waistband to make sure that the straps were enclosed inside the seam. So then now you've got to decide where we want the zipper to end. So if I make it end like here, which I don't mind too much, if I make it end like there, I put like a little snip in. So now I know that's where I want it to end. So to make sure on the other side, it is the exact same point. Which, yeah, don't really know proper sense. I'm just going to do that in a moment. There, there. Okay. So now it's time to install the invisible zipper into the centre back. Start by placing the left panel skirt to the left side of the zipper, right sides together. Okay, so for the hem, we're going to sew from where I've stopped here, 1 centimetre all the way down. So here, all the way across, all the way down to the end, and then I'm going to measure it because I'm not 100% sure how long I want it. I know I want it floor length, but I don't think I want it sweeping across the floor. Though when I wear this, I'll be wearing some kind of elevation. I probably won't never wear flats. I'll wear heels. So I'm gonna try it on with heels, with probably the closest heels that I want to wear, and then see how that looks before I cut it and finalize the hem. So I've got the dress on. It's a bit big at the back, like you can see, like there's a lot of gap right there, so I'm going to take that in a bit. And then the last thing to do is just to fix the hem. But I like the height, and I think this will be the typical height that I'm going to work with. So we're going to put the shoes on. So I've gotten a little bit taller. The length is still a bit long. We're gonna like that. Like it's still there, maybe still shows the toes, but not so crazy long. So I'm gonna slightly bit better camera angle. I can see that I've taken it up by some, and it's floating, but it's still long. Or maybe I can make it a little bit longer, but I like that I can walk and not worry about tripping on it like I am at the moment. I've taken it up quite a bit, as you can see here. That is approximately how much I'm taking it up by. I haven't measured it yet. Let's have a look. So it's about 12 centimeters. Oh no, tell lie. 12.5 centimeters. Even if I did about 11, because I still like, I want it to be long, but not crazy long. I think I should go for the 12.5. So I'm measuring up 11.5, because obviously it's going to be 12.5 in total. Ooh, let me move you across. Measure it up 11.5. Right, last but not least, I am going to fold over 1 centimeter and press down, so then I can finish off the hem of the skirt. I'm going to use the invisible thread, as always, just because, well, just like here, like it's just can barely see it. I quite like that, so yeah, I'm just gonna fold down and sew. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. You can watch the last video, which is my Bella Goth vet dress video, or YouTube thinks you're going to like this one. As always, I hope I made your day so much better.